Hi, Mary.
Hi, how's it going?
Fine, thanks.
That's
Nice
good.
record you got there in the background.
I did it just for you.
But
But I've had it
that's
for ages. I love it.
yeah. Oh, thanks so much.
Yeah.
That a guy named Ron Picard did that neon sculpture. So where are you?
I'm in Melbourne and
You're in Melbourne?
I'm so sorry. We were meant to have an interview last week, but I actually lost my voice. So I wasn't as lucky as you.
Right. I thought you might make that reference, and I don't know if people other than you ever caught it, but you know, it was a trip to New York, and I'd done a ton of interviews and flew straight to Los Angeles, and it was funny because I just wanted to let everybody know that I really can't sing. I'm not faking it. So I sang the first verse of the Ballad of El Goodo, and it was awful. And then Luther picked up from there, or John Hour picked up. So they got the truth from me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't think you looked like someone who would say anything that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Do you find when you are writing songs that sometimes you say too much or reveal too much about yourself?
I not really. So far I haven't really there was a song that I wrote that we never recorded. I actually went so far as to send it to Chris Stamey for strings, and you know, that Luther and I wrote, and the lyrics were a bit personal, and yeah, so we just scrapped it. It was a pretty heavy. It was actually, we had a dog named Casey, and it was about the death of Casey, and it was just I didn't really want to go there.
Yeah, and plus, if people really relate to the song, it means that you'll have to sing it over and over.
Yeah, exactly, and you have to kind of relive that. So we scrapped it.
Yeah. Now, I haven't interviewed you before, but I have seen you live in 2016. You were great.
Oh, thank you. And we're at opening for Tweety or the.
No, I saw you with those Pretty Wrongs at the Gasometer in 2016.
Right. Yeah, the one where the roof kind of comes back.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
it.
And Tim Rogers was on the bill with us. That was awfully sweet of him.
Yeah, he did one Two Am I rather than You're My, just the two of them. With him and Daisy Lane. Yeah.
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 They were wonderful.
Definitely.
And so nice of them to help us out there. That was sweet.
Yeah. You've got other people coming on board this time?
We do. We have, well, we'll do the new record Holiday Camp in its entirety from start to finish, just the two of us. And then we'll do probably 2 or 3 other songs with just the two of us. And then I think we have a couple of people joining us. And we'll do some Big Star songs and maybe 1 or 2 more Pretty Wrong songs.
Oh, I can't wait.
That'll be a 30-minute set or so. Yeah.
But I haven't interviewed you before, so I was wondering if you could indulge me in some very early questions.
Sure.
When you were growing up, who were you listening to?
Oh, the Beatles. The Beatles got me into it all.
Yeah.
And it's, God, what an energy and excitement there was to that. And my brother, both of us were Beatle freaks, and we put a band together and did, you know, covers of British invasion stuff, but like the Beatles and Rolling Stones and Kinks. And but then, you know, of course, The Who, Keith Moon. I mean, Ringo was a huge influence, but you know, right after that, actually, my brother and I got into a lot of soul music and Stax artists and that was just as profound to us as anything, from the British invasion. Because it was, whoa, Al Jackson and Booker T and the Inducted and all being the kind of house band, just really had such a soulful, profound feel to all those, Otis Redding songs and Sam and Dave and all that. So we put a soul band together. So, the Beatles and the Stax Artists and other British invasion, the Who, I was a big Keith Moon fan. And then along comes Led Zeppelin and John Bonham. And whoa, I saw him at the Mid-South Coliseum here in 1970.
Wow.
And had 17th row seats. And they were just mind-blowing.
That would have been amazing.
It was.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Who and your latest album, Holiday Camp. Was that a reference to that?
Well, it originated with my watching the Peter Jackson version of Get Back. And John Lennon talks about returning from India and holiday camp. And I thought, whoa, that's a cool phrase. And actually, Luther had mentioned the name for the album, and that was great. And he brought it up again. I said, well, actually, had a thought about calling it Holiday Camp, but what you have sounds great. And he goes, oh, no, wait, it's Holiday Camp. And then, Luther creates the artwork for the albums, and he came up with that kind of spooky Holiday Camp kind of cover in the back. Yeah, he's such a, I love working with Luther writing songs, but the big bonus is he also does our artwork, and so it stays in house and kind of personal.
It is. It's a gorgeous cover, and he's done the other ones as well.
He did, yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's done all of them. He comes up with these really cool ideas that you just don't expect, and
you collaborate really well.
We do. He makes it easy. It's well, that same trip where I lost my voice to LA, Luther and I maybe just prior to that, we had sung some songs together. And maybe I'd been out for a trip earlier, and we sang some Big Star songs together, and it just worked really well. So at some point, I think we had done the Newark Theater. It was the Big Star screening, Nothing Can Hurt Me, and we played those songs after that. And Luther said, hey, why don't we write some songs together? And because it seemed to work pretty well, our voices together, and I thought we'd get 4 songs, and now we have 32.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard because I know that you said you're doing this album from start to finish, but how are you going to choose from the other 2?
It's hard, I got to tell you. Things like, Hurricane of Love. It's A Day in the Park. Time to Fly.
Can I put a request in for Lucky Guy? I love it. And I'm for Love. Love those 2.
Oh, thank you. Definitely. Are you there? Sorry. Definitely Lucky Guy.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right. I'll listen to I'm for Love at home.
Yeah. That might have been the second song we wrote together.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, way back, sorry, I'm going back again. When you formed Big Star, how were you received back then?
Boy, that's a good question. We, Alex and Andy and I had a band together. Alex came to see us and liked what he saw, kind of at the request of Chris Bell, and we all got together, and it then became Big Star in kind of very early '71. And to tell you the truth, I think we were received okay locally, but I think the big thing was kind of blues-based rock, like ZZ Top and those kinds of bands, which are, ZZ Top did like 8 records at Ardent where I work, still work. And so, I'm a huge fan of ZZ Top, but we weren't doing that. We were doing, kind of British invasion inspired, or I think there's a little soul to what we do too. There were a pocket of fans here. But our first real Big Star audience was playing for Rock Riders in May of '73. After Chris had left the band, and Alex and Andy and I played Lafayette's, and for that, a room full of Rock Riders, and it was amazing. They knew the lyrics. They had all taken advantage of the open bar. It was Stax put the bill for everything, so it was a really good time, and it also kind of inspired us to come back together and do Radio City.
Fantastic. With this new record, how different was it to how you recorded the previous records? And you did this mostly online because of the pandemic?
We did. It basically, voice memos work really well. If you get an idea, you could just sing it in, or Luther could play chord changes and that sort of thing. So we just go back and forth, and we weren't pressured as in sitting across from each other. Oh, I got to come up with something. We had the luxury of waiting till something just kind of bubbled to the surface, and I think it just makes it that much more meaningful and connects better that way. I know it does for me.
How do you feel about touring?
I love it. And I'm incredibly grateful to BT at Love Police Touring for having us over again.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. And, Mary, do you know Mary Mihelakos?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, she introduced us to BT, brought him along to a gig at the Basement during the Americana Music Fest. And we're playing along, and there's this guy he's sitting on the floor with his back against the wall. And it's a small place, so you could see his facial expressions, and he was just digging the hell out of it. And which made us feel pretty good. And then I think Mary introduced him to us.
Yeah, Mary's amazing. She has done a lot for the music industry in Australia, definitely.
She's got a lot of energy, and what a positive source she is too for all things, certainly Australian, but just music in general.
Definitely, I agree. What's next for you, and what's next for Those Pretty Wrongs, if it's not the same thing?
We go to England September. I think I hop on a plane September 9, and we start, I think, 7 dates in England on the 12th of September. So, and I come home on the 21st. So excited about that. We play in Liverpool. It'd be our first time in Liverpool, second tour of England, but we play in Liverpool and we have a day off. So I'm going to do all those Beatle things.
Oh, fantastic. How would you describe your sound in food form?
Ooh, a little bit soul food, but I'm trying to think of Luther's chord changes. And the way he plays is deceptively simple. So that would need to be some sort of food with complex flavor. But lyrically, I think we always try to write in a bit of poetic form, and maybe that's whipped cream. I don't know.
Whipped cream.
Yeah, sorry.
And what's deceptively simple? Apple pie.
Yeah, it can be, certainly. Oh, my wife's cheesecake. Oh my God. She makes a
The
lemon.
recipe then.
Yes. I yeah. Let me see if I can get it from her.
My last question, because our website is called What's My Scene? What is your scene?
Boy, it sure changed with COVID.
Definitely.
Well, I could say literally. We have a lot of big oak trees in our backyard, and that's what I'm looking at. My wife does a beautiful job uh, gardening, so there's some really pretty flowers, and
Yep.
but that's a literal scene. Music scene is conglomerate of things, I guess. Luther and I have those pretty wrongs, and every now and then I do a big star, kind of like the Big Star Third
Yep.
thing that we did in Sydney. And but now we're doing number one record, and we do
Fantastic.
that as a quintet: Mike Mills and Pat Sansone and John Hour and
That's
Chris Damien and
amazing.
I would do 4 dates in Spain. Um, so that and kind of laid back. We have two bearded collies
Yep.
that we love and take care of. Um, yeah, it's Memphis is a cool place to be. It's a lot of friendly people. It's not real expensive. Um, yeah, Ardent. It's undergoing a
Definitely.
massive renovation. So there's a lot of construction, a lot of lumber, a lot of stuff kind of stored away for use, and that should be ready to go in September, I think. There's a lot to keep me busy.